Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin tonight with breaking news as stepped-up search efforts continue here in the Valley for a man accused of trying to run down a police officer.
We're told that a car was spotted late this afternoon north of Fargo that may be carrying this man, 22-year-old Ulysses Villalobos.
Now, he's accused of trying to run over the officer in Bismarck earlier today. During that incident, the officer fired at the oncoming car, and there's word tonight that Villalobos may have been hit.
Here's the description of the car that authorities are looking for. It's a white 2002 Subaru Outback with North Dakota license number 476BJY.
Valley News Team's Ashley Holcomb has been following this story, and she has more.
We're right by the Argusville exit off of I-29, where Villalobos was last seen by the off-duty officer. Cass County deputies and other officials are scrambling to locate him.
They can be very unpredictable and sometimes hard to track. Mostly the unpredictable element that, they're probably scared, they're unsure of what they're facing. We want to get that person in custody and contained as soon as possible.
The blue alert first issued contained little or no information, leaving people here in the Valley and across the state wondering what it meant and whether they should be worried for their safety. Law enforcement continue to ask that you proceed with caution.
If it's not something you're normally doing, I would absolutely advise that you want to lock your doors, pull your keys out of your vehicles and lock those as well. Even if they're in the garage, I would recommend locking them because it's just another level of a barrier that someone's going to have to try to get through in order to get after what they want.
There's a possibility that Villalobos may be hurt, possibly wounded by shots from the officer in Bismarck. Officers ask if you see him, do not approach, because a wounded and dangerous person isn't someone you want to deal with.
It's you kind of describe them like a caged animal. They're kind of going to be maybe more aggressive because they're getting desperate, and desperate people do really bad things. So we want to try and get that person as soon as possible.
In Argusville, Ashley Holcomb, Valley News Live.
As word broke today of the incident in Bismarck, a first ever blue alert was issued. It's meant to notify the public of a situation where a police officer is being threatened or has been hurt, and that there's a possible threat to the public. The phone notification, which is much like an Amber Alert, was sent region-wide and startled all who received it because there was no information about what was going on. When another was issued moments later, it directed people to seek out local media for an explanation. Late this afternoon, the North Dakota Department of Emergency Services, which issued the alerts, apologized for the stress and panic that may have been generated.
We're sincerely sorry for the angst that this caused people. We are part of the process working with law enforcement and BCI to get this message out there. And as part of that process, we certainly have a right and an obligation to weigh in to make sure that we get the best possible information out there the first time. Like I said, I got the blue alert along with the rest of the public. It didn't provide me enough information that I felt comfortable, and that's why 11 minutes later, we sent out that second message.
Bismarck police requested the alert after the Bureau of Criminal Investigation and Highway Patrol approved it. Emergency Services sent it out. All agencies involved will be meeting tomorrow to discuss what went wrong. We've got more information about the blue alert and what North Dakota officials say about the first use of the system on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com.
Can we squeeze out another day of nice weather? Let's hope so. We really enjoyed today's warm temps. Hutch, do we need to watch out for slick roads overnight?
Always a good idea, because even though temperatures in some areas have risen above freezing, the road surface is quite cold. It's cloudy out heading into the nighttime hours with rain developing in eastern Montana. Any rain showers stay out to the west. Temperatures in the mid and upper 20s across the valley means a slippery commute possible for many of us tomorrow morning. I'll have details on how warm we get on our fabulous Friday, and we'll talk about a potential storm heading our way as we go toward the close of the weekend.
All right, thank you, Hutch.
You bet.
Social media is often to blame for breaking up relationships and starting new ones, but there's a new trend that lets people cheat without getting physical.
It's called micro-cheating, and it's very similar to flirting. Some might call it advanced flirting.
Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer has what you need to know to stay away from what experts are calling this emotional infidelity.
Where it tends to get blurry between Is this a friendship? Is it more than a friendship?
Katie Figueras is a licensed counselor with the Village Family Services. She works with a lot of couples. And she says micro-cheating, or what she calls emotional infidelity, has been on the rise.
There has been more couples recently that I have seen than in my past.
So who or what is to blame? Well, some experts are saying it's our old friend, social media. But what actually is micro-cheating? From the latest research we could find, some examples are liking an ex's old pictures, sending suggestive emojis, or deleting conversations that you don't want your significant other to see.
I might talk to a friend and tell them about some of my personal things that I have going on in my life. And if I'm sharing that with someone outside of my friendship or my personal relationship, trying to understand what implications that could have potentially.
So we wanted to see if people knew about this idea of micro-cheating, and we stopped at NDSU. We met Jordan Hornanen.
I'm using technology all the time for class.
She says she's never done it, but can see why social media is just adding fuel to the fire.
Snapchat disappears right away, and you don't really get to archive the things, so it has the potential to be very secretive.
So how can you avoid being micro-cheated on? Experts say communication is key.
With couples, I talk about let's be proactive rather than reactive. If I'm feeling that I want to go out and talk to somebody else and I feel that I need to share my emotions with someone else, talk about that rather than reactively coming back with, by the way, I'm having an affair.
And a young couple we spoke with agrees.
Especially at the beginning, communication is huge, knowing what they're doing, you're just getting that trust in there.
Now, psychologists say each relationship is different, but setting boundaries right when a relationship begins is the best way to avoid any micro-cheating or worse down the road. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
But before you panic and accuse your partner of micro-cheating, there are some red flags to look for. If your partner is having private conversations online and quickly shuts it down when you come in the room, that's one warning sign. Another is if your significant other is offering compliments to others that they don't typically say to you.
We have breaking news coming into the newsroom right now regarding our top story. We've just received word that Ulysses Villalobos, the man that caused today's blue alert, has been arrested in Brookings, South Dakota. Bismarck police confirming the arrest on their Facebook page. They say Villalobos was taken into custody without incident. More information will be released tomorrow. Be sure to stick with Valley News Live for updates.
Also, we've been telling you about Landon Solberg. He's the young boy from the Valley who's at the Mayo Clinic. Later on Valley News Live at 10, meet the group of students who heard about Landon's fight and wanted to show their support.
And the silver lining that has emerged from the tragedy that occurred at one North Fargo home.